May I now request Sri B.B. Subba to deliver his speech.
आज विवेकानंदा केंद्र इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ कल्चर का फाउंडेशन डे, इस पुनीत अवसर में उपस्थित आज का प्रमुख अतिथि सम्माननीय मृदुल हजारिका जी, वाइस चांसलर गुवाहाटी यूनिवर्सिटी, विशिष्ट अतिथि माननीय श्री ए बालकृष्ण नारायण जी और डी.के. बरठाकुर जी। आज और यहाँ पर उपस्थित सभी अभिभावकगण, आज ऐसा एक विराट समारोह में VKIC ने मेरा सम्मान किया कि मुझे विश्वास नहीं हो रहा है कि मैं इस सम्मान का लायक हूँ। लिम्बू जाति सिक्किम प्रदेश का एक पुराना जाति है। यह जाति नेपाल और भारत का सिक्किम लगायत दार्जिलिंग, कालिम्पोंग और अन्य एक दो प्रदेशों में पाया जाता है। लिम्बू जाति का अपना अलग इतिहास, धर्म, संस्कृति, परंपरा, संस्कार, भाषा, लिपि है। अभी उनको जनजाति के स्टेटस में शामिल किया हुआ है। शुरू में ये जातीय प्रकृति पूजक है और आज भी ये जातियाँ सनातनी और अपना परंपरा थोड़ा बहुत सुधार करके इसी सनातनी परंपरा को कायम रखा है। लिम्बू जाति अपना संस्कार अपना पुरोहित द्वारा करता है। अपना जाति का धर्म, संस्कृति, परंपरा, संस्कार, भाषा, लिपि आदि का रक्षा करके लिम्बू जाति का अपना पहचान बनाना मेरा बालक काल से ही मेरा एक रुचि बन गया और इसी पर काम करते रहा। धर्म, संस्कार, संस्कृति, परंपराओं अभिव्यक्त करके अपना पहचान बनाना बिना भाषा और लिपि संभव नहीं है। वही सोचकर और लिपि के उत्थान के हर प्रकार का काम करते रहा। फलस्वरूप सिक्किम में अभी स्नातक श्रेणी तक लिम्बू भाषा पढ़ाया जाता है। पहले लिम्बू का सारा पाठ्य पुस्तक हाथ से ही लिखा जाता था, अपने हाथ से। बाद में फिर इसको थोड़ा बहुत सुंदरीकरण करके कंप्यूटर के लिए डिजाइन किया। अभी सारा पाठ्य पुस्तक तथा अन्य धार्मिक साहित्यिक लिम्बू पुस्तक कंप्यूटर द्वारा ही लिखा जा रहा है। अपना ईश्वर को, अपना देवी देवताओं को परिचित करने के लिए भजन अथवा स्तुति गान का भी बहुत हाथ है समझकर। इसलिए इस माध्यम में संगीत पर भी काम किया। संगीत का माध्यम से अपने जाति को अपना ईश्वर प्रति आकर्षित करना लाभदायक अनुभव हुआ। ये सिर्फ मेरा ही सम्मान नहीं है, परंतु ये सारा मेरा लिम्बू जनजाति का सम्मान है और सिक्किम राज्य का सम्मान है। ये सम्मान पाकर मेरे ऊपर फिर और जिम्मेवारी बढ़ गया जैसा लग रहा है। सम्मान का हक बनाने वाला चयनकर्ताओं को सहृदय धन्यवाद। मुख्य अतिथि सम्माननीय वीसी महोदय ने इस समारोह का शोभा बढ़ाया। मेरा सादर दंडवत। गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर माननीय ए बालकृष्णन जी और डीके साहब जी को भी दंडवत। VKIC ने इतना बड़ा समारोह का आयोजन करके मुझे सम्मानित किया। मेरा सहृदय धन्यवाद स्वीकार करने का निवेदन करता हूं। विभिन्न अंत में विभिन्न प्रांत से आया हुआ सभी अभिभावक, विभिन्न प्रांत से आए हुए प्रतिनिधियां, इस संगठन में जुड़े हुए सभी कार्यकर्ताओं, सांस्कृतिक टोलियों को धन्यवाद देते हुए विदा लेता हूं। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Sri Subba, for your acceptance speech. As Sri B.B. Subba spoke, we realized how he has quietly and consistently worked on all facets of culture, language, music, songs among the Limbus. Thank you, sir. Publication is one of the important activities of Vivekananda Kendra Institute of Culture. We take this opportunity to release a journal and a book. The first is the volume 7, number 2, January 2014 issue of Quest on the theme Swami Vivekananda and his message, Relevance for Northeast India. The second book, entitled VKIC, Its Vision, authored by Mananya Parameshwaranji. These two books will now be formally released. May I request the chief guest of today's occasion, Dr. Hazarika, to formally release the books. The second book, VKIC Its Vision, authored by Mananya P. Parameshwaranji, President of Vivekananda Rock Memorial and Vivekananda Kendra Kanyakumari. It has also been translated into Assamese. May I now request the chief guest, Dr. Mridul Hazarika, to deliver his address.
Good evening to you all. Respected Sri D.K. Thakur, Chairman VKIC, respected Sri A. Balakrishnan ji, respected Sri Bibi Shubha, recipient of VKIC Samman, distinguished invitees, members of VKIC, guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am indeed honored. I am honored twofold. Number one, I am honored for being here in front of an august gathering, learned group of people who have unflinching resolve to propagate the values of Swami Vivekananda. And secondly, I am further honored to confer the VKIC Samman to a man like Sri Bibi Shubha, who silently worked for the community and propagating their cause and values. Well, we are in a situation, we are in a position in our country where we are really invaded by globalization. I always call that the pollution of globalization. The values, as Swami Vivekananda said, that no other community, no other country in the world who have done more than India for the people. Selfless contribution that India had towards the human population, probably we can't compare anywhere in the world, as Swami Vivekananda felt. But with the innovation of globalization, all these things, I feel that values which are so important is really not at the level at which it should have been, for which the India is really valued by the rest of the world. Maybe it is the demand of the time. But one thing, the fact remains that in this fast world, the time is moving so fast, changes are so fast. Whatever knowledge we acquire, its self-life is very short. Very short self-life it has. And in the continuous process of learning is extremely important for all of us really to keep pace with time. Sometime, while we are racing to keep pace with time, maybe we are forgetting our values. That's where here Vivekananda's, Kendra's effort towards the maintenance of the values of the society is so important. And I had the really privilege to be educated in an institution. In my school days at Ramakrishna Mission at Narendrapur, I am so closely, really close to the values of this great soul that I can't really come out of the values that it has been put into my cells. But what is more important in our society, as I feel, is that these values cannot emerge all of a sudden. In this polluted world, which is very difficult to really force these values, of course we have to do. But only solution, as I feel, is that our effort should be, and with the children much more, if these values should be a habit of life. I can give you a very simple example. When I was studying in Ramakrishna Mission, we were taught to get up early in the morning at 5 o'clock we are taught to respect the seniors. We are taught to have trust on God. All these have gone into our blood, and it has become a way of life there. Once, and it's become habit. It's the children who will really be taken into consideration first, and they can really change the society, change the world that we are going to have. That's very important, that whatever activities that we take, all these activities should be really intensified around children, as I feel. Because I'm in an institution of higher education, I find it so difficult really to take certain things forward sometimes, because constraints of circumstances really prevent me from doing that. But these are children who will ultimately come to the fold of higher education, who will ultimately take the lead of the country. And we must focus on children as of now, otherwise it will be very difficult with the changing world. As we see the insensitivity all around, the growing population, particularly the children, or particularly the people in the teenage or in the age around up to 20, there are a lot of insensitivity around. Someone is lying, someone is dying, we don't feel like going and picking him up and helping. And we are less concerned about the difficulties of the others. We are less concerned to many other social issues. We are less concerned about the problems of the environment. This insensitivity is disastrous, dangerous, and we have to do away with insensitivities. And unless we do that, it will be very difficult for us to have a very finer world in the days to come. And Vivekananda's values are so important from this point of view. They are so pragmatic. They are so pragmatic that I feel that nothing could be better than any other values which can really change the world. As I feel, as Vivekananda used to say in Bengali, the minimine pinpine chehra niye football khelar che gita porar che football khelar che. It is so important that we need to really be pragmatic and values to be inculcated at all levels, and that is very, very important for the society to survive. As the Vedanta philosophy says, that the mind and the body, beyond that the soul has no distinction, soul has no caste, soul has no community, soul is one. And for that, we are all one. We are all single values. That is so important. And this is where we need to propagate right at the childhood of the people. And I'm sure if we catch them young, we can change the world. And that is so important. I've been really, for the last several years, I'm trying to propagate this cause for the society. But I tell my professors of the university that please adopt one school, please adopt one school. You go there for 12 days a year. You try to just motivate them. If 10 children come out, you will find what impact it has in the society. And I'm sure that all of us, you are the very learned people who are here. I'm humbled to see you all together here. I'm a very small fry. I know very little about these things, but the fact remains that I'm concerned about the society. I'm concerned about the erosion of values. I'm indeed very, very happy to be here today in an atmosphere where all entering here I find there are values, and it is so important, and we must really, all of us, should make sure that we bring about a change in the society. And I'm sure the Vivekananda Kendra is doing, but this message has to go at various places, various others in a much better way, so that we can really change the world. As I say, the things are moving fast. The erosion of values are also much faster than the imposition of values. Therefore, imposition of values should be faster than the erosion of values. And for that, we need to work much harder, all of us. Only then we can have a better world in the days to come. I have no audacity to speak much before this August gathering. You are so learned that I am very little, I feel very belittled. But then these are my feeling, only I share with you. I want to look for a better world. I am sure all of us, if we really have the desire, we definitely can have a better world. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your thought-provoking speech, sir. This reminds us of Swami Vivekananda's few quotes. The first, bring light to the ignorant and more light to the educated, for the vanities of education of our time far exceed the ignorance of the ignorant. The second quotation, as long as the millions live in hunger, I hold every man a traitor, who having been educated at their expense, pays not the least heed to them. It is this that the Kendra per se is doing, that has bridged the gap between the educated and those at the grassroots. It is this that the Kendra is doing, rebuilding values. So after this solemn program, we have now arrived at the presentation of a short cultural program to be presented by the Progressive Artists Laboratory of Imphal, Manipur. May I therefore request the esteemed guests on the dais to take their seat among the audience. I request the chairman to please escort the guests down. So after this solemn program, we have now arrived at the presentation of a short cultural program to be presented by the Progressive Artists Laboratory of Imphal, Manipur. May I therefore request the esteemed guests on the dais to take their seat among the audience. I request the chairman to please escort the guests down. Laboratory PAL of Imphal, Manipur. PAL is a voluntary organization which believes in experimentation and was established under the patronage of late Guru Sri Tarun Kumar Singh, a Sangeet Natak Academy awardee, with his disciples in 1975 at Imphal. The organization attempts to promote and preserve the aesthetic values of art and culture, while at the same time interacting and engaging with the modern society. The two short programs are Nath Sankirtan and Vasanta Ras. Nath Sankirtan is a form of yajna. It is a sublime religious art form of singing and dancing in the praise of the Lord, accompanied by the playing of pum, a percussion instrument, conches and kartal. Its performance is considered as the highest form of worship by the Vaishnavites, that is the Meiteis of Manipur. The Nata Sankirtana of Manipur has been recently listed as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity by the Intergovernmental Committee under UNESCO. The Vasanta Ras. Traditionally, Ras performance is preceded by Nat Sankirtan, which is akin to Purvaranga of Natya Shastra. Vasanta Ras, usually performed on the full moon night of Vasanta Ritu, that is April-May, depicts besides the Abir Khel, the ultimate surrender of Lord Krishna to Radha's immense love, finally culminating in the union of the two or the Jugal rule. The performance concludes with the gopis paying obeisance, arti, to the Jugal rule. The artists are on the pung, Shri Tambhavane Singh and Shri N. Anand. The others are Shri L. Subhash Chandra, Shri L. Premji, Shri Shubha and Shri N. Ravichandran. The conch Maibom will be blown by Shri Prithviraj Singh. In the Vasanta Ras, the role of Krishna will be enacted by Manju Ilambam and Radha by Elizabeth Devi. The gopis will be enacted by Srimati Purnima Devi, Ratna Devi, Gitanjali Devi and Vidyarani Devi. The Sutradhari will be Srimati Praneshwari Devi, and on the Rajdhari Pung will be Shri Tambhavane Singh. On the flute will be played by Prithviraj Singh, and the group leader is Dr. W. Ibomcha Singh.